The world is filled with mysteries that we still haven't been able to solve. Some of these mysteries will keep you up at night, and that's for sure. From unsolved murder cases to real-life buried treasure. Let's talk about this and more only in today's video. Starting off this countdown, we have Jeanette Depalma. In 1972, a dog was out playing in the forest when it brought a decomposed forearm back to its owners. From there, the search was on for the missing person's body. Turns out that it belonged to a woman named Jeanette Depalma. She was missing for 6 weeks, but eventually the rest of her body was found on top of a cliff. Now, what's weird is that the area surrounding her body was covered with occult symbols. Rumor has it that she was sacrificed by cult members or killed for pissing off Satan worshippers. But sadly, police couldn't determine the cause of death due to her badly decomposed body. So not only do we not know her cause of death, we also don't know why she was killed or by who. In our 9th spot today, we have the missing leg. On April 19th, 1995, at 9:02 a.m., a bomb was detonated inside of a truck by a federal building in Oklahoma City. Sadly, 168 people lost their lives as a result of this attack. Now, while investigators were working on this case, they came across a detached leg in a military boot. They originally thought the leg belonged to one of the victims, Lakeisha Levy. However, she was buried with both her legs, so it couldn't have been hers. In fact, her body was actually exhumed and analyzed. But because her body was embalmed, taking DNA tests from the leg she was originally buried with wasn't possible. So it's not known whose leg this belongs to. Was it Lakeisha's leg? If so, then who does the leg that she was buried with belong to? Investigators either think it's another victim or an additional terrorist. But to this day, nothing has been confirmed. In our 8th spot, we have the Copper Scroll treasure. In 1952, a copper scroll was found alongside other Dead Sea Scrolls in a cave. Now, this scroll was quite interesting. As its name suggests, the writing was engraved onto a copper scroll. When translated, it apparently talks about a bunch of hidden treasure. Now, this scroll is over 1900 years old. During that time, the Romans might have been out to capture the treasure, so they hid it in order to prevent them from finding it. So maybe this scroll is a key in finding the treasure. The question is the treasure real? Will we ever find it? And if it is real, then where is it hidden? In at number 7, we have the human feet. Since 2007, around 20 dismembered human feet have washed up on the coast of Salish Sea in British Columbia, Canada. What's weird is that the feet are often found still perfectly inside of their laced shoes, and investigators still don't know what to think. A couple of the feet have been identified, like one belonged to a missing male, one belonged to a missing fisherman, the other belonged to a woman that jumped off of a bridge. So it's believed that these feet belong to victims of terrible accidents or belong to people who took their own life. It's still very strange, like why have so many feet washed up in the same area? Now, police ruled out foul play, but some people believe that these people were gang members or victims of sacrifice. In our 6th spot, we have the farm murders. On March 31st of 1922, 6 family members were killed with a pickaxe on a farm. What's weird is that the murderer lived on the farm for 6 days after taking the lives of the family. The killer was taking care of the cattle and using their kitchen to cook meals for themselves. When police did find the bodies, the killer had already fled. Now, what makes this case scary and more chilling is that a previous maid said that she recently quit because she thought that the house was haunted. She heard voices and footsteps coming from the attic. So police think that the killer was living in the attic for quite some time before committing these crimes. To this day, the murderer has never been found. The files were sealed in 1955 and the house was eventually demolished. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the Big Gray Man. The Big Gray Man is said to be a cryptid that haunts the summit of Ben Macdui, located in Scotland. Some people think that it's just a legend, whereas other people have actually seen this creature. It's said to be an extremely tall, human-like creature, being over 10 feet tall, with short hair and broad shoulders, with long arms. Needless to say, you don't want to encounter him. But like I said, there's been so many eyewitness reports that many think this beast is indeed real. To this day, scientists still haven't been able to come up with an explanation for the sightings. In our 4th spot, we have the Oak Island Mystery. The Oak Island Mystery is a 200-year-old legend that insists that pirate treasure is buried on Oak Island in Nova Scotia. Multiple attempts have been made to discover this treasure, however, none have been successful. In fact, several people have died trying to unearth this mystery. People believe that the treasure contains William Shakespeare's original manuscripts, Marie Antoinette's jewels, and other artifacts worth millions of dollars. Named the Money Pit, the supposed spot for the treasure is over 200 feet deep and is filled with booby traps to prevent anyone from reaching the treasure. The question is this legend true, and will we ever unearth some treasure? Because so far, nothing has been found on Oak Island. In our third spot today, we have the Bigfoot. For sure, you have all seen that infamous blurry photo of the Bigfoot, walking, but is he actually real? Well, over the years, there have been a number of credible sightings of this beast, leading many to believe that he is indeed real. Take Michael Green, for example. He is a former U.S. Army tank commander and fraud investigator who ended up encountering Bigfoot. Why would someone of that rank lie about Bigfoot? During a camping trip in a North Carolina forest, he claims he encountered this beast. He said that he woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of something approaching his tent. Soon, it was directly over his tent and let out a deafening roar that, I quote, scared the devil out of him. He claims that this beast was about 7.5 or 8 feet tall and striding with ponderous arm swings. He truly believes that this was Bigfoot. So could it be that the Bigfoot is indeed real? Let me know what you think. In our second spot, we have the woman who named her killer. Now, this case is the definition of bizarre. Now, this case has been solved, but how it was solved still remains a complete mystery. Let me explain. So in 1977, a woman named Teresita Bassa was murdered and her jewelry was stolen. Police tried finding the perpetrator and the jewelry, but it was unsuccessful. That was until Bassa's coworker, Remy Cho, got in contact with her ghost. So Remy hardly knew her, okay? Then she just randomly started having visions about her. She kept seeing this man's face behind Bassa. So she decided to try and actually contact her from the dead. She sat down with her husband and actually channeled her spirit. She took control of Remy's body and told her husband the entire story of her murder. It was done by a man named Alan Showery. The two went to the police with this information and they investigated Alan and he was arrested for the crime. Isn't that wild? Literally, she got in contact with her spirit and the spirit told her how to die. This whole story is just one big mystery. And in our number one spot today, we have the Dyatlov Pass incident. Now, this is one case that keeps me up at night. So in February of 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers set out to travel the snowy mountains of Siberia. However, they all ended up mysteriously dying one by one. So during the night, something caused them to cut their way out of their tent and flee the campsite. The hikers were not properly dressed. Some were even found completely naked. Some had died from hypothermia, others were killed by physical trauma, and it was very gruesome. So what happened that night? Was it an animal attack? Military involvement? Infrared sound-induced panic? These are all some of the wild theories out there. But to this day, we still don't know the truth behind this incident. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which one of these bizarre unsolved mysteries you found the most unsettling, okay? The last two, very creepy. And if you guys want to see another part to this video, then let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, smash that like button and obviously subscribe to our channel. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.